Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into home share agreements. They're supposed to be about creating supportive homes, right? But what if the contract itself, the very foundation of the relationship, is actually built for control?
So picture this. You've decided you want to be a home share provider. You're ready to open up your life and your home. But the most important piece of paper in this whole arrangement, the contract, well, that often shows up way later than you'd think. And that timing, it's everything. So first, let's just walk through what a provider has to do and pay close attention to when that contract finally makes its appearance. Before you even see a single clause, you're investing a ton. You're completing training courses, often paying for them out of your own pocket. You're making changes to your house, installing new safety gear, making it accessible. You're getting everything ready, emotionally and physically, for someone new to move in. And only then, right at the last possible second, when you are completely committed, that's when the contract shows up. The client is basically waiting at the door. Your home is ready. If you back out now, months of work go down the drain and you're letting down someone who is counting on you. This isn't a good faith negotiation. It's a high-pressure, take-it-or-leave-it deal. So you sign it. And once you do, the very definition of your home starts to change in some really fundamental ways. Your home, your private sanctuary? Well, legally speaking, it's been redefined. It's now the agency's place of service. And that's not just words on a page. It's a real shift in who's in charge. Suddenly, the rules of your own house aren't just yours to make anymore. And this is what that looks like in the real world. Clauses like this one from Semiamo House Society give the agency enormous control. You have to comply with any instruction they give, whether it's written down or just said out loud. You have to let them come in for inspections. Your home basically becomes a satellite office, and you've just become the on-site operator there to follow their rules. Some contracts take it even a step further. They include rules that are, they're literally impossible to follow, which puts the provider at constant risk of being in the wrong. Let's be real, providing care is a 24/7 job, and everyone needs a break. So, providers have to hire their own help sometimes, called respite workers. The provider finds them, vets them, and pays them directly. But here's where it gets crazy. Check out this clause from an IFRC contract. It says the home share provider has to legally guarantee that their respite worker, a totally separate person, will follow all the rules of a contract they haven't even signed. Just think about that for a second. How can you legally promise what someone else will do, especially when they aren't part of the agreement? You can't. It's an impossible promise. It's a setup where the provider is on the hook for something they have absolutely no control over. It's a liability trap. This is all part of a bigger pattern you see woven through these contracts, a huge, deliberate imbalance of power and risk. And this right here just says it all, doesn't it? An agency can end the agreement with just 30 days' notice. But the provider? They're often required to give 90 days. The agency gets all the flexibility, and the provider gets all the long-term risk. And that power imbalance goes straight to the provider's wallet. This clause lets an agency hold back your pay based on nothing more than its own opinion that there might be a problem down the road. No proof required, no outside review, just their ability to freeze your income whenever they feel like it. Just 7 days. In some of these contracts, that's all the notice an agency has to give before it can completely change the rules that govern the entire agreement. 1 week, that's all. And beyond the pages of the contract itself, there's often another document that has just as much, if not more, power. Somewhere in that fine print, you'll probably find a simple little line. It just says, the provider has to agree to follow the rules in the agency's handbook. Many contracts also reference an agency handbook. What this means, we will examine next time. So, when you pull back and look at all these layers of control, you have to ask a pretty basic question about the person at the center of it all. The system calls providers independent contractors. That sounds like you're your own boss running your own show. But the contracts treat them like controlled operators who have to follow a long list of specific orders and schedules from the agency. It's a huge contradiction. You can't be both things at once. You can't be an independent business owner and also a subordinate who just follows orders. But that is exactly what the system is demanding. Which leads us to the real question here. Is this system creating a true partnership of care, or is it just engineering a contract of control?